Hey folks, welcome to another episode here on the Mr. Analyst channel. Of course, you know my name by now, Leighton Levy. Of course, on this special day, we're talking to a young special lady who went to the World Championships last year in Tokyo and came home with a silver medal. And then on the weekend at the Clemson Invitational, ran a personal best 35.94 over 300 meters, which is also a world lead. We're talking about Dejanea Oakley from the University of Georgia and, of course, former Clarendon College star athlete. And, of course, she joins me to talk about the experience of the weekend and, of course, the Tokyo World Championships, where she finished the championships with a silver medal as a member of Jamaica's 4x4 squad. Outstanding performance. Dejane, thank you for joining us. I know you're a busy girl, so we really appreciate the time.
Okay, it's so nice to be here. Thank you for talking to me.
Okay, cool. So let's start with the weekends. 35.94, just outside the meet record of 35.71 by Conner from in 2017. Talk to me about, that experience. What was it like to start your season with such an impressive run?
If I'm being honest, I went out there thinking, oh, this is just going to be like a practice meet for me. I'm just going to go there and get my body getting ready for the season that was coming up. So when I looked and I saw that 35, I was like, I am already at that level of my training because I know my training has been going well, but to see the fruition of it on the track this early into the season kind of gets me really pumped to see how the rest of the season will be going.
Yeah, the interesting part of it is that you had a long season. You were competing right down into September, which is
hmm
unusual because the World Championships were held in Tokyo, Japan. So you would have had some level of fatigue coming in, having competed from indoors to outdoors to the World Championships. How did
Yes.
you adjust to the background season?
Actually, it was pretty like it really didn't have much to do with me and all to do with like the coaching staff that I have here at the University of Georgia. Cause once we finished the world championship, they were like gave me a few weeks off and then they started like they found a way to transition me into into like my fall practice without having me go directly in with everyone else. And they have built the momentum of getting
Mm.
me ready without putting too much pressure and overwork on my legs. So it's really all up to them. I'm not gonna lie on that one.
Interesting. So, do you do anything different? I mean, given okay, you had a later start, you got
Yes.
some rest,
Mhm.
but did you do anything different in terms of maybe your strength work, your endurance work coming into the
Yeah.
season that would have helped you?
Yes. Yes, definitely. So I've been lifting heavier. I know I look on the slimmer side, but now I've been lifting heavier. So that has really been helping build the muscles that I need to like continue to like do the work that I want to do. Because I know coming this season again, I will be doing a long year again because I'm hoping to make the ultimate games, of course. So I know that I have to build certain muscles to like get to where I need to be and maintain it.
Okay, so let's go back to last year September because
Mhm.
I remember speaking to you after you ran your 49.6 at the end season, finished second behind Alia Butler. You did say that you're gonna strategize your program that allows you to be fresh for Tokyo. But you
Mhm.
did during Tokyo admit that you were a bit tired,
Mhm.
especially going to the rounds and
Yeah.
seeing the phenomenal times that these women were running.
Mhm.
What lessons did you take from Tokyo that you think will benefit you this season? Of course, obviously, it seems to be benefiting you already, but certainly the lessons that you think will take you through the season to continue to be successful.
Yeah. So, like, a few things I've realized is that reaching out to the older athletes definitely helped because they really were there grounding me because it was my first major track meet ever like that. And there were older athletes there that were helping me literally with my anxiety because I was struggling with that for a little bit because, first big meet and stuff. They were talking me through it and those things. And I will be taking that with me throughout this year because the confidence I've built being around such a great team of like, elite athletes. They're nothing short of elite athletes. So to have them around me was like basically mentorship that I now have an experience and knowledge that I didn't have before of what to do to have longevity in my season.
Yeah, and of course, there were some nerves for you in the opening round in Tokyo.
Yes.
uh, did that experience now prepare you for future competitions where
Mhm.
you're not going to be as nerves are always good,
Yes.
but does it make you more comfortable now with competing at the higher level?
Definitely, because everyone who was at Worlds were the best of the best. So to be able to say I went up against them, I might not have done the best I could in my individual event, but to go up against them again in the 4x4 with the great teammates I had there and to come out with a silver medal, I am now like more confident in going out and just going up against the best and being like, you know what? I have done this before. I am willing to go out there and give it my all again.
And the big thing about it for me, for you in Tokyo, you run a big PB at the NCs,
Mhm.
49.65 it was. And then you go to Tokyo and see a woman run 47.7 and another one run 47.98 and a follower run 48.19.
Yeah.
Does that recalibrate in your mind what you need to do to get to that level if you're going to be competitive
Yes.
at the senior level? And how scary was it to
Definitely.
see that happen?
Seeing it in person, I'm still in like, how did she even do that? But then again, to also look and see that 49, my 49 that I was like, obviously that's a really good start, but seeing that
Uh,
49 didn't make it to the podium showed me that I have way more to go in this sport and there's a lot more stuff I need to work on to get to the level that I want to be at cuz 47 is not no joke. I saw that and I was like, wow. That was very impressive to me. Yeah.
yeah, that was the second fastest time in history. So, Marita Cox record since what was it, 85 is still standing 47.60, but that was as close as anybody has ever come since.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say that you're now the big dog in the 400 at Georgia, given that Alia is now gone pro and gone? And what does that mean to you? Yeah, especially with Sakshi coming in and being the other Jamaican in that setup. Would you say you are the big dog in the 400 women now at Georgia?
Will not be commenting on that because we have wonderful females all around on the 400 team. Like now have Shaquina, like you mentioned, and she's a wonderful athlete. She's very superb in what she does, and I really like. I've known her before she came here, and I've heard of her while I was in high school because she was like a year or two before me. So I've looked up to her coming into like being a 400 athlete, and then we now have this new athlete who was also really impressive last year. Vimbai from Zimbabwe. She also went to Worlds. So we have now like our entire 4x4 team. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, our entire 4x4 team that we have at UGA now has all went to Worlds. So this is gonna
There
be a
you go.
4x4 team to watch out for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and of course, it gives you that competitive edge. So, as I say, iron sharpens iron. So you
Yes.
have people who will be able to push you. Have you set yourself any specific targets for this season? Not necessarily in terms of time, but in terms of progression. Give me a sense of what you're thinking.
I've been thinking that like to take steps of like scoring at SEC, but not just scoring, because last year I said scoring, but now this year I want to be on top when it comes to like SEC nationals, because those are the small progressions leading up to like the things that I want. So like this year I'm hoping to go pro because it's my last year as a senior. Definitely the plan. So like these small progressions of building my name and taking my time getting to where I need to get to so I could be offered a good contract is really what I'm looking forward to. Yes.
I don't know if you can speak to this, but you of course you're an NIL athlete with on.
Mhm. Mhm.
Have you had that discussion with them about going pro, and what was their reaction? If you can speak to it, because I don't want to breach any agreements you might have.
Okay. I am glad that you did bring them up because they've been like great help and support for me throughout this year as well. But I don't think I am able to fully speak on the context of everything. But just know they've been very helpful throughout my entire season. I really appreciate all they've been doing for me so far.
Yeah, I saw some nice pictures of you on Instagram. I
Yeah.
think it was in on gear. I'm like, whoa,
Guys.
somebody's somebody living the life up here. It's really interesting. And here's another facet of something that I noticed. And tell me if I'm wrong. I remember when I spoke with you first last summer, just before it was after SCCs. I'm trying to remember when it was. You were a little shy, and even now, but you seem to be growing into confidence. Is that what I'm seeing? And tell me about that process of transitioning now into becoming a more confident athlete.
Yeah, definitely. I've like because like I've said, worlds have definitely shown me like a new light to things and everything. So like I said, the older athletes were talking to me, sharing their experience with me and everything. So I've now grown into this person who's like, oh, so this is what it takes. This is what I have to do. And even just getting to worlds and getting a medal has boosted my confidence so much because I've gotten more recognition, but also yeah, just like everything just feels more confident when it comes to me in terms of that. Worlds definitely has leveled made me feel like I've leveled up if I'm not lying.
Yeah. Sorry, and of course, that the experience, know that you've proven to yourself that you can be competitive. It removes some of the doubt that you may have had
Yes.
about yourself and about your
Mhm.
abilities. So taking that into this season, what does that mean for you this season? Because I mean, as you mentioned, Georgia is competitive, and of course, I suspect that other schools will also have strong 400-meter runners that you'll be facing during the course of this season. How do you view that landscape now that you're more confident?
Now that I'm more confident, I will be taking what Aaliyah said because last year her words were it's her versus her. So this year it's me versus me and that clock. Those are the only the two competitors is me versus me
Mm.
and that clock.
Yeah, because you had an example right there. I mean, she went pro eventually. She ran
Mhm.
49 and she went on to 49 oh something during the
Yes,
course of the season.
4909, yeah.
Yeah. So, you mentioned conversations with her. What are some other nuggets that she passed on to you?
She's definitely like she was one of the person who let me know that going to Worlds and getting that experience is definitely gonna change how I feel when it comes to like collegiate races. And I felt that she told it to me before, but now that I'm experiencing myself, I'm like, oh, she was right. But also still having she's still training at the University of Georgia. So to still have her as like the person my training partner has helped me develop a lot and I've learned a lot from her because she is literally Miss I don't get tired, so I have to be next to her for every rep and that has
Yeah.
built me up to the level that I'm at today.
And of course, you have Shakira mentioned before.
Yes. Yes.
You know our Jamaican peer, the sole Jamaican peer at UGA.
Yes.
How important was it for you to have her there as a fellow Jamaican competing on the NCAA circuit?
Not just as, like, a fellow competitor, but also, like, as a friend. Cause whew, do I feel like I need to speak patois more often, but now that no one would understand me. No one would understand me, so now that she's here, I'm like they're like, "D, you don't know." I'm like, "Oh, Shaquina's here, she understands me, that's all I need." But also, like, as a training partner, she's good. She's really good to be there. She's, like, very mentally tough, and because she has done the 800 before, she comes in with a level of endurance that I didn't normally have. So now working with her kinda builds my endurance because of the background that she's from. So that really like I said, like you said, iron sharpens iron, and we've been working together. And you could see even for her, like, she had a PB, in her 300 this weekend, so all of us are literally just
Yeah, which
sharpening each
which is
other.
also the second fastest time in the world as well.
Yes.
Yeah,
So we've
because
really
yeah,
been
because you have the
working.
number one time in the world. She has the number two time.
Yes.
Yeah, so
So
clearly something is already working for you guys.
yes.
So here's my next question. It's one of the final questions I have for you. Um, you are you are studying, you are competing, you are aspiring to go pro.
Mhm.
What are some of the things that Dejanea Oakley likes to do for fun? Yeah, because we saw you break loose in Tokyo with dancing with Natalia and company. So what are some of the other things that we should know about what is it like to do when you're not training and you're not studying? Because I know it's a hectic schedule. I
It
lived it
is.
for a time when I was going to school here.
Mhm.
What do you do for fun? What do you do to let your hair down, so to speak?
I do want to give one pointer. I am not a dancer, so please do not judge that video of me dancing too harshly.
It was
I
not bad deal.
I was
I
trying.
was very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, they definitely brought out like a better, like a more comfortable side of me. But what I do for fun, I like reading, which is not what most people say now, but I do really like reading. I am a big fan of teddy bears, so I do collect a lot of them. And I watch anime, and
Uh,
I like climbing trees, but please do not tell Coach Carol I said that. Yeah, so I like climbing trees,
won't
but
mention
she's
a word. Ah,
we don't mention that to Coach Carol because she's like, nope. Yes. So those are like my little hobbies,
what's your
but no.
favorite anime?
Okay, all right. So
Is it
Jujutsu
all anime?
Kaisen. I like
Mhm.
I watch every genre of anime that you could probably think of. Yeah, I am down for anyone. If you have any good options and like choices, please send it to me. I will definitely watch.
Ask my son. He's a
Okay.
big anime fan, and he
Okay.
reads a lot of mangas as well. So
Yeah,
he's
same. I
totally
do.
into the.
When I say
There you
read,
go.
that's what I mean.
Well, look, it's very much. I watch him reading them. I remember I bought one for him last year when I went to New Jersey, and by the time we got from the airport, he was almost done. So he's really into them, and
Yeah.
so it's a good thing. I think it's quite interesting. The key part of it is that you're reading in the opposite direction, so it's kind of weird
Little
that way, but
confusing, yeah.
but you guess that way. So what's next for you? When do you compete again?
I compete next weekend. We're gonna go to the New Mexico trap meet. However, I'm just doing the
Mhm.
4x4. Like I said, my coaches have come together and like found ways to like even during the season to help me not overload myself or overwork myself too much. So the next upcoming trap meet, I will just be doing the 4x4. So these are the little ways they have like found ways to get me compete but not overwork my legs throughout the season.
Mhm. And my final question: you mentioned Ultimate Championships, but there's also the Commonwealth Games this year. Are
Yes.
you thinking about Commonwealth Games any at all?
I am not gonna say yes or no. We have not thought on it yet, but we're trying to like reduce as much like trap meets that I can participate at just because we don't want it to be as long as last year's season. But I am not gonna say no because any chance to run and like prove myself and get better, I will definitely take it.
Okay, Dejanea Oakley, thank you so much for spending some time with us this evening. And of course, wishing you all the best for the season. Stay healthy, get stronger, run faster. And I'm
Thank
sure,
you so much.
whether you like it or not, you could end up being, by the end of the season, the top dog at
You know what?
UGA. So,
I love that. I love that. Thank you.